What's good, y'all? Rhetorical question. Life. My name is Heavy Bree, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your 295th time, and for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I haven't been really putting out videos as much because I've been kind of like just focusing on, life, my purposes, and I've just been kind of busy, y'all. Just busy working on my own personal stuff, But I wanted to post a video today. Two reasons. One, I wanted to talk about, a movie I just recently saw a while back. Well, recently. And two, I wanted to talk about an important topic, which is the topic of accountability. We'll get into that after I'm done with the movie review. I think we can probably consider this an official review. I haven't done one of those in a while. But the majority of this video is just me talking about accountability and how or why some people, try to avoid taking accountability for their actions. But first, let's talk about the movie that I recently watched. As some of you may have known, I don't know if you, some of you may have known, recently I came home to take care of some stuff. I was on vacation, a little mini vacation. I was taking home time. So whenever drivers are on the road for a certain amount of time, if you do over the road driving, we get to come home for a little bit of time. So if we do 5 weeks on the road, most companies you get 5 days off. And then if you do four forever, however many weeks you have on the road, that's how many days you get off. I do about 8 weeks on the road, and I come home for about a week. That's my schedule. That's what I do. Some people stay on the road for 2 weeks. Some people stay on the road for 2 months. It depends on the person and their situation. But while I was home, I saw this movie that I was excited to see. It was a sequel to the movie Joker from 2019. They made a new movie called Joker. They call it Folie à Deux. And in this movie, the main character, Arthur Fleck, he is locked up in an insane asylum. And while he's in there, he meets this chick, who's supposed to be Harley Quinn. Her name's Lee, but, it's Harley Quinn. It's supposed to be Harley Quinn. And, the two kind of start feeling each other, and, a bunch of chaos ensues, But I'm not going to go into full detail on the movie. I'm probably not even going to consider this an official review because, I'm just I don't really want to break down the whole movie because overall it was trash. And, I only review movies that are interesting to me, but the movie was just trash. And the reason why it was trash was because it's if they call the movie Joker, but he doesn't do anything that's besides wear the makeup and some of the musical scenes. And by the way, the movie was a musical. They decided to turn it into a whole musical. Besides that, it was just okay. I'll say this: the acting in the movie was good. The cinematography, the set designs, all that was good. Even some of the musical sequences were good. But if you're going to call a movie Joker, have him do some Joker stuff. Like, have him like blow up City Hall, have him poison the water supply with laughing gas, have him do some. And the first movie, like, it set him up to be this, the beginning of his criminal career. He killed some people in the movie. He killed some people in the last movie, and you can see him kind of becoming, the Joker. But in this movie, it was all just, delusions and, courtroom drama BS, and of course the musicals. But without spoiling the plot, I'm gonna say this. There was a scene in the movie where Arthur, and those of you who haven't seen it yet, this is probably gonna be a spoiler, but like, what he does is he dude does something that, and this is why I think a lot of people, besides him not, doing any Joker stuff, killing people, blowing stuff up, breaking out of Arkham, getting revenge against his abusers at Arkham, besides all that, that's one of the main reasons why everyone's pissed off about it. If you're hearing music, the video review, the critical reviews, and the audience reviews, and you're seeing how everyone's mad about it, that's what everybody's mad about. Like, why are you going to make a movie called Joker and him not do Joker stuff? That's like having Spider-Man, calling the movie Spider-Man, and dude doesn't fire nary a web out of his arm, doesn't swing from no buildings. It's just Peter Parker doing Peter Parker stuff, going to school, trying to pay his rent. But he doesn't. It would be like Spider-Man 2. It's like watching Spider-Man 2 without any of the Spider-Man stuff. It's just Peter just constantly getting crapped on throughout the entire movie, and and going through some stuff. No Doc Ock, no Spider-Man stuff. It's just Peter Parker, the movie. That's pretty much what this movie was. All we saw was him being Arthur. But there's this one scene, the scene in the movie that really kind of like, that resonated with me. One of the guys he used to work with in the movie, like if y'all saw the last movie, like you'll know that he had a friend who he used to work with, little short guy named Gary Puddles. And Gary was like, everyone saw him as Joker. Everybody saw him as this symbol for anarchy. But Gary was probably the only person who was cool with Arthur, with him just being Arthur. He didn't care about the whole Joker persona. He didn't care about this whole symbol of chaos and everything. He saw Arthur for who he was. Arthur was a good guy. He never teased him. He unlike other people, other co-workers who used to make fun of him for being short, Arthur was the only person who was ever cool with him. And then, Arthur, if you saw the last movie, if you haven't seen the last movie, like something happens where Arthur, commits one of his crimes in the last movie in front of Gary, and it causes Gary to have PTSD because, Gary has been like, a little person his entire life, and the fact that he couldn't help out the other person who Arthur was attacking, or he couldn't stop it and couldn't get away, made him feel, it made him feel powerless. And he's like, Arthur, why are you doing all this? Why are you getting into this? You're a good person. This isn't you. And then later on, after that scene, and another scene, which I'm not going to talk about because I was like, man, that's just a little too much, And later on, when we go back to the courtroom scene, because there's multiple courtroom scenes, in the final courtroom scene, Arthur, like all of Arthur's fans are out, his fans, people who are like, or who actually not Arthur's fans, but Joker's fans, including Harley Quinn, they all show up to the courtroom, and what he does is he takes full accountability for everything that he did, because like, I don't know if it was whether that was what happened with Gary, if like, what Gary said to him got to him, or if like the scene where he gets, assaulted by the guards, I don't know if it was that, or, something bad happening to a friend of his in the asylum. that caused him to kind of snap out of it. But either way, I think I want to say it was a combination of all those things that happened. And Arthur gets a reality check, and he decides that he takes accountability for the murders he committed, the crimes he committed, and the things that he's done. Takes full accountability for those things. And when he does that, all of his fans in the courtroom. They leave. Lee, Harley Quinn, she leaves, and now that part of the movie, was kind of a turning point for my whole. Because as mad or as annoyed as I was that this movie wasn't, a real Joker movie. That scene was a really good scene because it shows how people want to escape into this reality where the problem is everyone else's problem. The things that happen to them, the things that are going on in their world is everyone else's problem. And there are some things, don't get me wrong, is there corruption in politics? Yes. Is there are there businesses and corporations that abuse and exploit the working man? Yes, there are, and there always will be. As long as you get people who crave power, they're always going to screw over people that are less fortunate than them or have more or have less than them. That's always going to be a thing. Corruption's always going to be a thing. But murdering people isn't the answer. Blowing stuff up isn't the answer. Burning things to a crisp isn't the answer. Throwing a whole creating chaos isn't the answer. The answer, if you really want to bring something like that down, you have to form your own political party or form your own group and fight against that corruption. I mean, organize and then go after that thing, not just absolute chaos, which is what all of Joker's admirers were doing. They were just rioting and causing problems and just lashing out. I mean, I get it. They were angry. When the people are abused, they're going to lash out and they're going to do something about that. I ain't never seen myself as a person who I never really was into authority figures. I'm a person who doesn't really, I used to think that I had a problem with authority, growing up, throughout my life. But I realized that it's not that I don't like authority. It all depends on who has the authority. Because some people have authority that they know they're the boss, but they know how to treat their people. They know how to talk to people. They know how to do proper disciplinary action, And some people, they do too much. They know they have power over you, and they wield it over you because they can, or because of some personal thing that happened in their life. And now they're they got a little bit of power. When people who felt powerless for a long time finally get power, they tend to abuse it. Whether it's they were bullied in school, or they come from a home where they were abused, or whatever, or they just felt like a loser their whole life, and they finally get some power or some clout, and now they just basically just show their whole ass. People do that. The weak always seek power over others. But going back to accountability, when I saw Arthur take accountability for what he did and the stuff that he did, that was a really good scene that needed to happen. And I think besides him not doing Joker stuff, I think that was one of the ingredients, the main ingredients on why the movie did so poorly with audience and with critics. Because visually, the movie is beautiful. The music, even the stupid musical scenes were okay, And the acting wasn't bad either. The people who played them did a good job. It's just the story just sucked. The story sucked. The story sucked. The plot sucked. And it was just, and more importantly, it didn't give the audience what it wanted. Now, if Arthur had escaped from Arkham with Harley, probably in the second act, if he had, busted out of Arkham or got freed from the courthouse in the second act, then him and Harley are just going around causing problems, and then halfway through he sees somebody who he used to know who was always cool with him, and then his minions hurt that person, and then he watches it and he feels bad about what's going on, and then he starts having second thoughts, and then that would have been a way better movie versus just turning the whole movie into a courtroom drama and just him getting basically just getting crapped on the entire movie. I would have rather have seen that. Then it would have been a way better movie. But honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, man. After watching that movie and watching the last Joker movie, I can honestly say that the dude the guys who wrote the movie, the guys who made the movie, I just feel like they were just winging it, and they were just using an IP, this IP from Warner Brothers and from DC, just to make their own kind of movie and tell their own kind of story, rather than just be faithful and true to the material. That's my whole theory and my whole thesis on that. But regardless of that, people have to take accountability for what they do in this world. We have the power. Us, not them, not that person over there. We have the power to control our circumstances, and we have the power to present ourselves as, we have the ability to be better than who we already are, to be better people, and giving into fads and giving into social pressures to be something that we're not is all in the end, it's only going to screw us over. Trying to lie to kick it, trying to do all this fake crazy BS just to fit in or just to be liked is not the way. Because when you become this person who plays the victim, or plays who plays the victim and doesn't take accountability for your actions, it leads to you just doing all kinds of irrational stuff and making your life harder than it actually is. Now some people, like artists, musicians, politicians, or people who have that laser focus, they blame the system, they blame others, and then they just go after whatever it is they want. I mean, those are the outliers, but the majority of us have to take accountability for our actions. We have to, because if you don't, and you go your whole life being this person who sits around blaming other people for your circumstances or blaming other people for your problems, then your life's not going to get easier. It's not going to get better. And there's people who go their whole life just blaming everybody else for why their life sucks. And don't get me wrong, some people are legitimately victims. Horrible things do happen to people, in the movie, Arthur, in Joker, he was abused as a child. He was abused as a child. He was bullied, picked on, and just treated like shit his entire life, unfairly. But the thing is, there are many things that people can do to overcome. Everybody has the power to overcome their circumstances, okay? Sometimes the environment you grow up in sucks. What you could do is you could leave, cut your losses, and leave the environment that you're in. Because if you live in a place where it's been shit for 50 years, for hundreds for decades, it's not going to change. It shows no sign of changing. Then the best thing to do for some people is just to leave, get away, move somewhere that is less shitty. And that's going to require change. It's going to require moving. Like, Arthur could have moved out of Gotham. He could have moved to Metropolis. He could have moved to Central City or some shit. Move somewhere where it's less crappy. Because because Gotham just seems like a horrible place. Batman has all these villains and Batman has all these villains. Even before Batman shows up, like, Gotham just seemed like a horrible place. Staying in an environment like that is not kind to a person of, Arthur's condition is, because our environment, the situations in which we are grown up in, how we're raised, and the trauma that happens to us, the things that happen to us that cause trauma. We can't control those things that happen to us. We can't control the environments that we grow up in. We can't control, who raises us, but we can control our lives. We can fix. We are the masters of our own destiny. And if you stick around in an environment, a toxic environment, for so long, eventually it's going to take you under, because we are products of our environments. Everybody you hang around, all the people you hang around are negative and, just disgruntled and just, always on some BS. Then guess what? Your life is going to be BS. Your life's going to be BS. And the things you go through is going to be BS. But we all have some people are probably watching this and like, oh, you talking about just running away? Oh, running away from your problems? Well, bro, like the whole situation is a problem. The whole situation can't be fixed. Now, if you got a wife and kids, or you're married or whatever, and you live in that environment, it is what it is. But if you're watching this and you are single or you have, like, you're young, preferably if you're young and you're single and you're watching this, bro, I tell you this right now, man. If you live in a place that's like just always been shit, get out of there. Just get out of there, man. You got at least one cousin, one auntie, one uncle from either side of your family who's doing well. You're young. Bro, get out of there, bro. Go move in with them. Go move in with them. And then if you don't have that, bro, bro, there's like the Peace Corps. There's the military. You can become a merchant mariner. Or you can just do what people did back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and just immigrate somewhere new and start a new life. Is it gonna be scary? Yeah, it's gonna be scary, bro. But you're a grown man and or woman. You're an adult. And sometimes the place where you grow up at ain't your real home. Just because you've lived there for many years doesn't mean that's your real home. That's the only way to save yourself, man. Because if you stay in that environment and then you marry the wrong person or get with the wrong person and you have kids, because then now your kids are suffering. Do you want your kids to suffer? Do you want your kids to go through all the bullshit that you went through? Look, I don't blame my parents or anybody for, things that happened when I was younger or the stuff that I've been through and everything in my life. I don't blame nobody for that, anymore. But I would never raise my kids. I don't have any kids that I know of, but I would never raise my kids the way that I was raised. I would never put my kids in the same situations that I was put in if I ever had kids. Because I feel like as a parent, if you know where you come from sucked, you shouldn't put your kids in that situation, you know? Arthur's mother was crazy. She was crazy. If y'all watched the movie, in the last movie, y'all know that woman wasn't right, you know? And, you know, and sometimes, you know, guys don't care when a woman is young and she's pretty-ish. I mean, and she has the nana, you know, guys are gonna, like, you know, just, you know, shoot up her club. They don't care and abandon her, you know? It's like if you have kids, like, for this message is for the men. This last part is for the men. Listen, bro. You are the foundation of your family. You are the foundation of the family that you want to build. Now, are you going to be cement or are you going to be dirt? You have to be the foundation of your family. And part of that means choosing the right woman, choosing the right partner, whatever you mess with. Okay, it involves choosing the right partner and wanting an environment for your children that is going to be constructive in their growth, you know? Because people, like I said, man, like, guys, men, okay, we are the foundation of the family that we want to build. And if you're planting the seeds, if you're planting your seed in spoiled earth, if you're planting your crops and your speed to grow crops, which is your children, in a crappy environment, then they're not gonna. Then you're setting them up for failure. You know, not all of us are lucky to grow up in an ideal environment and everything, or under ideal circumstances. But if you understand that where you were at or how you were raised was not ideal to what you wanted out of your life, then it's up to you to decide where you want your family to be raised at, how you want to raise your kids, what kind of environment, what kind of, like, community you want to raise your kids in. Because you need a good community. You need an ideal environment for your child to come up in. But more importantly, you need a good spouse. You need a good partner. And if you don't have that, then you're gonna just then your kids are gonna suffer. If you have children with the wrong person, if you raise your kids in the wrong environment, and if you don't have the right community to raise your children in, then, because it takes a village to raise kids. You know, you can't just do it by yourself. You and your partner can't do it on your own. You need a positive environment. You need a good environment, a stable environment. And if you don't have those three things, then you're setting your kids up for failure, you know? If you get with the wrong person and you raise your kids in the wrong community and the environment is not ideal. Now, you can't have all three, but if you have at least two of these things where you're free to raise your kids in, then there's a good possibility that they might turn out okay. But if you just raise them, just get anybody pregnant and just don't have a good strong community, like a good religious or a good, like, just a good culturally strong community, you know, where the culture in the community is, like, not, like, power strong and kept together and everything, and the values aren't aligning with each other, then, and you raise them in an environment that's toxic as hell, then you're setting your kids up for failure. So if you're watching this, I mean, just think about Arthur Fleck and Joker, you know? Think about all the people out there in the world who are abandoned, who are living on the streets, who are just, you know, like, who are just cast out by society and ignored by the masses. Think about that when you decide to have children, so that way they don't turn into another Joker. It's a beautiful sunset right now. I can't really it's kind of going through the trees right now. Can't really see everything. But yeah, like it's a beautiful sunset. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I just want to show you all the sunset. You know, I'm just walking around, just going for a walk. I just try to get back into walking. You know, getting my steps in and all that, so I can stay, you know, physically active and keep my keep my legs. Like my gut's been going down a little bit. Can't really show it from this angle. You know, I still got a little bit of a gut, but I'm working on getting rid of it, you know, by walking, exercising, doing planks and stuff. It's gonna take a while, and you know, I mean, just gotta cut down on all the stuff that I be eating and everything, and just, you know, have a healthier diet and make better decisions, you know, taking accountability for my stuff, you know, because right now I'm fat, you know, I'm fat right now, and you know, I can't sit there and blame nobody but myself for the situation that I'm in, you know. About 4 years ago, I was 236. Now I'm like 270. That's my fault. I need to do better, you know. But yeah, I appreciate you all sticking through this whole video and watching the whole video and everything, and listening to me rant and talk about. I don't like this video isn't an official preview. I just wanted to use, like, you know, the new Joker movie, which I still thought was trash. There were some good messages in it. There were some good messages in it. And I'll probably talk more about it in a future video. You know, where I'll be doing a new series where I talk about the moral of the story in different movies and different shows and different things that I talk about. They won't be previews. They'll just be like me just reviewing. Okay, probably I'll probably add it to preview, a segment in preview where I talk about the moral of the story, you know. But I'll be doing that for more older movies that aren't in theaters. So, you know, like if a movie's over 10 years old, I'll probably talk about that movie, and, you know, talk about what the message of that movie was, or some messages that were in the movie that probably went over somebody's head, and then you guys can comment down below and be like, oh yeah, like that, oh yeah, I did get that message from that movie and everything, you know. But yeah, like, I've already gone over 32 minutes. I was trying to make a shorter video, but like, I went over my message. I went over with this ranting and everything. But thank y'all for watching. I appreciate everybody who stuck to the end, and thank y'all for supporting the channel. I appreciate every single last one of you, and I hope all of you guys are having a great weekend, and peace and blessings. Have a prosperous day.